This is a story called The Little Monsters, Chapter 103. The little kids go on a trip to Flamingo Land and wander off. Now that Mary Ann is out of hospital and has made a full recovery, all she wants is to go to Flamingo Land. On her 6th birthday, her parents told her that they had one last surprise for her, but she'd have to wait. Excuse me. But she'd have to wait a few days to find out what it is. Then one Saturday, her parents woke her up about 7 a.m. and her daddy said to her, "Mary Ann, remember how we told you on your birthday that we had one last surprise for you? Well, today's the day that you get that surprise." "What is it, Daddy? I can't see anything," said Mary Ann. "Well, where's the one place that you keep asking me and Mummy to take you?" asked Mary Ann's daddy. "Flamingo Land," answered Mary Ann. "Well, guess where we're going today, sweetheart," said Mary Ann's daddy. "Flamingo Land," said a very excited Mary Ann. "Yes, my darling." "Yes, my darling, we're going to Flamingo Land," said Mary Ann's daddy. "Is it just me, you and Mummy going, Daddy?" asked Mary Ann. "No, my darling, Joshua and everyone are coming, including Bumpy and the gang," said Mary Ann's daddy. As you can imagine, Mary Ann was really excited and she couldn't wait to get there. Instead of everyone going in separate cars, they all went by coach. About 10 minutes after they set off, Mary Ann said, "Are we there yet, Mummy?" "No, sweetheart, we're not," said Mary Ann's mummy. After about 5 minutes, Mary Ann said, "Are we there yet, Daddy?" "No, my darling, we're not," said Mary Ann's daddy. About 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Are we there yet, Mummy?" "No, darling, we're not," said Mary Ann's mummy. 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Daddy, are we there yet?" "No, darling, we're not," said Mary Ann's daddy. 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Mummy, are we there yet?" "Not yet, sweetheart," said Mary Ann's mummy. 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Bumpy, are we there yet?" "No, sis, we're not," said Bumpy. 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Bumpy, are we there yet?" "No, baby sis, we're not," said Bumpy. 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Stumpy, are we there yet?" "No, Mary Ann, we're not," said Stumpy. 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Are we there yet, Stumpy?" "No, not yet, Mary Ann," said Stumpy. 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Kicker, are we there yet?" "No, we're not, Mary Ann," said Kicker. 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Are we there yet, Kicker?" By this time, Mary Ann had everyone in stitches and she was doing everyone's heads in. Altogether, they said, "No, Mary Ann, we're not." 5 minutes later, Mary Ann said, "Are we?" But before she could finish her sentence, everyone on the coach said, "No, we're not, Mary Ann." Everyone laughed and about 10 minutes later they finally got there. As the coach pulled up, Mary Ann said, "Are we here now?" Everyone laughed and all together they said, "Yeah, Mary Ann, we're here now." Then everyone got off the coach. The first thing that Mary Ann wanted to do was to go to the zoo to see the animals as it was her day. As it was her day, everyone agreed that it was okay and they all went together. After they'd been round the zoo, seen the animals and bought some souvenirs, they made their way to the theme park. The first ride that the little kids went on was The first ride that the little kids went on was the Heli Toys ride. This took them through the clouds and the kids could operate them themselves and make them go whichever way they wanted them to go. Then they went on the Go-Gator, which was a twisting alligator. Then they went on one more ride, which was the Dino Roller, and then they went for lunch. After lunch, the kids decided that they wanted to play tricks on everyone by hiding from them when they weren't looking. When their parents noticed they were gone, Mary Ann's mum said, "Oh no, please don't tell me they've wandered off on their own." However, she knew they were close by because she could hear them giggling. Then she said, "Oh well, I guess we best go on the rides without them." Then they came out of hiding and Mary Ann said, "No, Mummy, don't do that." Then Mary Ann's mummy said, "Good heavens, Mary Ann, you scared the life out of me." Everyone laughed and then went back to the ride. Then the little kids wanted to go on some of the bigger rides. Unfortunately, they were too little and weren't allowed on some of them. However, they were big enough for the family rides and the first one they all went on was the Zoom. When they got off that ride, they made their way to the Twistosaurus. However, when they got there, there was quite a long queue and the little kids decided to hide again. This time it was Stumpy's mum who noticed that they were gone. "Uh-oh, the little ones are gone again. What are we going to do?" said Stumpy's mum. "I guess we'll just have to leave them behind whilst we go on this ride. We're nearly at the front of the queue too. What a shame," said Grumpy's dad. Then the little ones jumped out and together they said, "We're here." "Bloomin' heck, kids, you nearly gave me a heart attack," said Grumpy's dad. Then they got on the ride and after that they went on the Cyclosaur ride. When they got there, they were right at the front of the queue. The little monsters were given permission to go off on their own, as they wanted to go on the bigger rides. The little kids wanted to go with them, but they weren't allowed. However, when their parents weren't looking, they sneaked off and followed the gang. The gang had no idea that they were following them. As soon as their parents noticed that they were gone, they thought that they were just hiding again. Stampy's mum said, "Oh no, those kids are hiding from us again. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to go on the rest of the rides without them." Then Kicker's mum said, "I don't think they're hiding, I think they've followed the gang." All the parents panicked and went to look for their little ones, but they couldn't find them anywhere. Then Kicker noticed that they were following them, and she told the others. However, when they went to grab them, they ran off. The gang ran after them, but they disappeared in the crowd. Then Stumpy spotted their parents and said, "The little ones were following us, but then they disappeared into the crowd." "It's okay, Stumpy, I can see them," said Stumpy's mum. All the gang grabbed the little ones and left them with their parents whilst they went on the big rides. After that, it was time for them all to go home. The little ones were told off for wandering off, but apart from that, everyone had a fantastic day. End of chapter 103. Thanks for watching, guys. Love yous. Bye.